keep hearing the Common Core, you keep hearing rigor and relevance. But what the Common Core is, at its most basic level, and we'll talk about the standards and the organization, is the Common Core is 8 different standards that are so general, you can apply them at every single grade level. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, I've talked about the reasons we talk about PARCC. You have 8 standards as opposed to maybe 30 or 50 or 100 with the grade level learning expectations. They're much easier to measure between grade levels. And so that allows you to solve some of the issues we're seeing with value added right now. For example, there is a significant difference in the type of test. Even if you take the scales, normalize the data, it's very difficult to compare between LEAP and ILEAP scores when you're trying to get an achievement trend. So PARCC and Common Core are also ways of solving those sort of issues. Now, and one of the things with this is there still be a checklist. And we'll talk about that in terms of the standards. The criteria to be named a standard is that it's general enough to be applicable to every grade, every student, and within a subject. And we'll talk a little bit about what this means on the next slide. But essentially, you need to go so basic, so fundamental. Avoid that huge checklist, but go so fundamental that there are these concepts in mathematics and in English that are so important that someone in the 10th grade, someone in the 2nd grade, should be able to master some age-level appropriate formulas. Let me show you what that looks like. These are the standards for mathematics. Make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. Reason abstractly and quantitatively. Construct viable arguments. Model with mathematics. Use appropriate tools. Now, as you look at these, can you start seeing in your head how they're general enough that, say, a first grader, a kindergartner, or maybe someone in calculus will use some shape or form of that? And that instead of having this list of 100 things to do in a classroom, you can focus on the fundamentals. It's a big paradigm shift in a sense, because you're going from teaching grade level learning expectations, having a huge list, to teaching core concepts in a core subject and trying to achieve mastery and depth, instead of having to run through each different list before you benchmark tests. Attend to precision, though I don't like the way they use precision there. Look for and make use of structure, and look for and express regularity and repeated measures. Now, if I take standard number 5, and I think about that for a moment, it says use appropriate tools strategically. I obviously won't have a kindergartner expecting to use the same type of tools as I would have a high school. But you could see in my interpretation of this that I would have a class or age level appropriate task for them. And all